Okay, so recently IAI, that's Israel's biggest aerospace company, walked onto the stage at a major air show and quietly dropped one of the strangest missile reveals I've seen in years. They called it the Wind Demon. And look, I know that sounds like something out of a video game, but it's a real working cruise missile shown off in public in broad daylight in front of journalists and rival militaries. No leaks, no conspiracy theories, just IAI standing there saying, "Here's our new missile, and here's exactly what it does." And once people actually looked at the specs, it started making a lot of sense why this thing is getting so much attention. This isn't really about one missile flying low and dodging radar. It's about something bigger, a completely different way of thinking about war. So let's get into it, because by the end of this, you'll get exactly why militaries around the world are watching this thing closely. Hi friends, welcome back. So let's talk about where this actually started, not in some secret lab, not in a leaked document, just on a normal day at one of the biggest air shows in the world. Israel Aerospace Industries, IAI for short, showed up and introduced a new air-to-surface cruise missile called Wind Demon. That's it. No big mystery, no shadowy sourcing. A defense company showing the world its newest product, the same way a car company might unveil a new model. And that detail actually matters a lot. This wasn't built to stay hidden or classified. It was built to be shown, understood, and honestly sold to other countries. IAI wanted eyes on it, including rival nations. And once defense analysts started digging into what it could actually do, it became clear this wasn't just another missile on a long list. It was a different approach entirely. So what is this thing really? Take away the dramatic name, and the Wind Demon is an air-to-surface cruise missile, meaning it launches from an aircraft and hits ground targets. It weighs around 140 kilograms, roughly 308 pounds, making it smaller than some of Israel's other well-known missiles like the Pape or the Gabriel family. But don't let the size fool you. This thing can travel over 200 kilometers, that's about 124 miles, and hit both moving and stationary targets. It carries a warhead of more than 20 kilograms, adaptable for blast, fragmentation, or penetration depending on the mission. Basically, it's built to be lethal and precise over long distances while staying small enough to be produced and carried in larger numbers than heavier Precier missiles. And that combination is exactly where this gets interesting. Here's where the demon, part of the name, starts to make sense. One of its standout features is that it flies at extremely low altitudes for the entire mission. Why does that matter so much? Because radar has a much harder time picking up objects flying close to the ground, especially over uneven terrain. By hugging the earth like that, the missile basically slips under the radar coverage of enemy air defenses, cutting down the chances of being spotted and shot down before it even gets close. IAI also built in what they call an immune navigation suit, designed to keep the missile on track even if the enemy tries to jam or spoof its guidance systems. That low, quiet flight profile is exactly why coverage of this missile felt so mysterious at first. A weapon built to be felt, not seen until it's already too late. Precision doesn't mean much if you can't actually see the target properly, and this is where the Wind Demon gets genuinely impressive. It comes with an electro-optical seeker combined with thermal imaging, so it works just as well at night as it does during the day. It also has a laser homing device, which lets it lock onto a target that's been marked by another source, like ground troops or a separate aircraft. So this missile isn't just blindly flying toward coordinates, it's actively detecting, checking, and confirming its target before impact. Operators also get real-time video during the mission, giving them a person-in-the-loop option if they want to step in and adjust things mid-flight. That mix of autonomy and human oversight gives militaries flexibility. Let the missile handle its programmed path, or take control if the situation on the ground suddenly changes. Now, here's a detail that quietly changes a lot. The Wind Demon runs on a pre-programmed mission, meaning it doesn't need constant real-time control from an operator once it's launched. Why does that matter strategically? Because it seriously lowers the risk to whoever fired it. A helicopter or fighter jet launching this missile doesn't need to hang around dangerously close to hostile territory, guiding every second of its flight. It can fire, turn around, and get out fast. Military analysts call this a standoff capability, and it's become one of the most valued traits in modern air combat. With enemy air defenses getting smarter every year, keeping expensive aircraft and even more valuable pilots far from the danger zone isn't just a nice bonus. A lot of the time, it's the difference between a successful mission and a costly disaster. To really get why the Wind Demon exists, we need to talk about the reason behind it. The recent wars in Ukraine and Gaza expose something brutal. Modern militaries burn through munitions incredibly fast, and expensive premium missiles just can't be built or afforded quickly enough. Weapons like the Storm Shadow or Tomahawk can run well over $1 million each. That's simply not sustainable for a long conflict. IAI built the Wind Demon specifically to deal with this problem, pitching it as a low cost per hit option. Company VP Guy Barlev put it this way: an accurate response to the changing nature of warfare where affordability is a key factor. So this missile isn't only about firepower. It's about being able to strike again and again, sustainably, without wrecking a country's defense budget after just a few weeks of fighting. This gets us to a phrase that keeps showing up in IAI's own messaging: affordable mass. It's basically a strategy that says having a lot of solid weapons might matter more than having a handful of perfect ones. Instead of pouring huge resources into a few ultra-expensive, top-tier missiles, the idea is to build something reliable enough, accurate enough, and cheap enough to use in bigger numbers. Think of it like having a full quiver of dependable arrows instead of just one incredibly fancy one. The Wind Demon leans on a modular, adaptable design, specifically so large-scale production is actually realistic. This matters because modern warfare, especially with drones and layered air defenses everywhere, increasingly comes down to volume and staying power rather than one dramatic strike. It's quietly changing what people even mean by powerful weapon these days. Worth remembering, Israel already has a strong missile lineup, including the Popeye, the Gabriel family, and the more recent Seabreaker. So why build another one? Because the Wind Demon fills a very specific gap, something smaller, cheaper, and easier to mass produce without giving up meaningful range or accuracy. It's not meant to replace Israel's heavier systems. It's meant to work alongside them, especially in situations that call for fast, repeated, cost-effective strikes. II has decades of experience building missiles and loitering munitions, and this design clearly reflects lessons pulled from real combat testing and battlefield feedback. This isn't a lab experiment. It's a calculated step built on actual operational data, addressing a gap that Israel and plenty of other militaries have run into during long, drawn-out conflicts recently. Here's the bigger picture. The Wind Demon isn't just an Israeli story. It's a signal to militaries everywhere. As conflicts drag on longer and munitions stockpiles run dangerously low, countries are rethinking whether ultra-expensive, premium weapons are even sustainable anymore. The Wind Demon represents a bigger shift toward affordable, scalable precision weapons that can be built fast and used repeatedly without draining a country's defense budget. Other nations are almost certainly studying this closely and will probably see similar affordable mass weapons show up from other defense industries in the coming years. That's exactly why analysts, journalists, and military planners paid so much attention when this was revealed. It's not about one dramatic strike. It's about a strategy that could quietly shape how future wars get planned, funded, and fought. So, is the wind demon actually mysterious? Not really. Everything we covered comes straight from IAI's own public statements and defense reporting. But the name does capture something real. A weapon built to be felt more than seen, flying low, staying hidden, and hitting hard. The real story here isn't secrecy, it's strategy. The Wind Demon shows that the future of warfare might not come down to who has the single most powerful weapon, but who can keep up precision strikes the longest, cheapest, and most reliably. As conflicts keep testing military budgets and munition supplies worldwide, expect more countries to follow this same approach, smaller, smarter, and built in bigger numbers. The Wind Demon isn't just a missile. It's a preview of how militaries are quietly rethinking the whole economics of war. If this actually helped you understand what's behind Israel's Wind Demon missile, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next breakdown of the weapons quietly shaping our world. Drop a comment. Do you think affordable mass is where warfare is headed, or will countries always chase the next big expensive superweapon? Share this with a friend who's into military tech and turn on notifications so you catch the next one the moment it drops. Thanks for watching, friends. I'll see you in the next video.